going. We're off to the races, everybody. Sit back, enjoy this, because today will only occur once in all of history.
True.
And we're here for it in 3, 2, 1.
Now this is Rooty Toot Jasperson. He had the newest bike in the bunch, and he was as proud of it as he could be. He made it a point to get in the lead, and there he intended to stay. It would seem that Rooty Toot was a slam-bang go-getter headed for big things in life.
The morning stream. Rambling goes in, podcast comes out. You can't explain that.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the morning stream. It is TMS for Tuesday, May 10th, 2022. I'm Scott Johnson. He's Brian Ibbett. Hi. Good morning.
I am. Hello. Hello.
Oh, man. Weird night. Lots of dreams. Not going to get into it, but here's the recommendation. Don't eat yogurt too late at night. I think that's what gave me the dreams.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny because that's usually my go-to. Like, I'm a little bit hungry. Get an hour before bed. I want something. I'll have a yogurt.
So it's actually that's the reason I did it. I'm right on cue with you here.
Yeah.
Problem is, I think because yogurt's got a bunch of active cultures in it, and
Gets
gets
you think
into
they're activating in your brain
or something. I don't know. Like there's a lot of serotonin in your gut, so maybe it has some effect there. We'd have to ask one of our experts, but all I know is I had the weirdest freaking dreams, and
Really?
yeah, just so weird. And I
But
can
on
only
other nights you've had really weird dreams. You haven't had yogurt.
That's a good
nights. I
point.
think one of those nights you had Chex Mix, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's not always yogurt. It's a good point. I think if I eat late at all, that's my problem. Any kind
Yeah, I
of
was going to
eating.
say that seems to be the common denominator. Is not what you eat; it's that you eat.
Yeah, it's that I eat it all at late, and I'm usually pretty good about it. I try not to eat past 7 if I can help it on weeknights or whatever. Sometimes you got a weekend where you're doing dinner late or whatever, but I try to do that. But last night, no, I failed. I went and got some sweet nectar of the gods out of the fridge, the Costco Greek yogurt.
Oh yeah, that stuff is good. Tina's into getting the is it Noosa? I think it's Noosa. Noosa sounds like something that Jar Jar Binks would order, right?
Yeah, nice big hot cup of
bring me some Noosa.
Oh Lord, he probably would. Wait, so what is that a new? Is that a brand or is that a flavor? What is that?
It's a brand. It's a Greek yogurt brand, and it is like they have a lot with fruit on the bottom. They have one that's key lime on the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so dang good.
That sounds all right.
Oh, look at that. They have ice cream now too. Frozen yogurt gelato. Sign me up.
Yeah. All this sounds good. Sounds yummy.
But yeah, no, their key lime is excellent. And when I do, because apparently I can't not just make it. I can't just enjoy it the way it is.
Yeah.
I have to take one rectangle, a quarter of a graham cracker, and put it in a Ziploc bag, bash it up with a spoon, and then sprinkle it on top of the key lime to make like a little key lime pie action.
Nothing wrong with that. That sounds
Little
amazing.
graham cracker crust.
Yeah, you got me. You had me at graham cracker. To be honest, I was a graham cracker. Big fan. So I put the way I do my yogurt is I'll put the yogurt in there, and then I'll dump a load of like honey bunches of oats, cinnamon edition or whatever. And now it's basically cereal with really thick milk. It's kind of
right.
how it goes.
Right. Milk that in any other situation would be milk gone bad.
Yeah, that would be smell it first kind of situation before I'd eat it. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's weird. So I'm glad to be awake and alive and in a time where I'm not dreaming because it was weird. It was all strange. I didn't like it.
Do you remember any of those dreams? Anything
None of
you
this
wanna
one.
repeat?
This one I just
Okay.
remember it all being psycho and crazy and uncomfortable, and that's it. That's the only details I have.
For the first night, my back is starting to get better.
That's good.
The piriformis syndrome that I had.
That's good.
So for the first night in 6 nights, I did not take a muscle relaxant to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And I had a little bit of a hard time getting to sleep, and then I did my usual wake up at 3:30 in the morning, can't sleep, watch an hour of the show I'm either going to recommend till this week or next, and oops.
So you, so that's interesting. I would have thought, I don't know why I thought this. It's probably dumb to think this, but because that stuff will put you to sleep nicely, the muscle relaxers and stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of thought the day you didn't take it, maybe you'd have some not carryover, but you'd be maybe used to the
like trained.
Maybe.
No, I think it's a lot like when you take melatonin, where your body just starts relying on it. Say, oh, you know what? All right, you've got this. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and sit this one out. And then after a week of that, your body is not ready. It's like, oh no, I'm still on vacation. You figure it out, and isn't wanting to use the muscle relaxant to help me sleep.
I think that's how heroin works, right? The whole idea behind heroin.
I think so.
I think it is.
That's exactly.
It's
probably. Well, I mean, any sort of withdrawal, like any sort of.
Yeah, it's your body going, wait, you need me for this.
You were
now?
using this for a while. Why'd you stop? Because it was helping me do this thing.
Yeah.
Now you're not. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
The body got slacky, and now it has to overcompensate. Look at us. We're drug experts, everybemy.
We are. We're self-trained, self-proclaimed drug experts.
That's
right.
It
came with the pandemic. We all became epidemiologists. What the heck are we?
Epidemiologist, I think. Isn't it?
Epidemiologists. Thank you.
Is that right? Yeah.
It might be an extra syllable or two in there. I don't know.
It's starting to sound funny.
Epidemipeazeologists.
Don't be an epiesiologist. Those people snip vaginas.
Skin experts.
Yeah,
virus
skin
experts.
That's
what we became. Virologists.
Right. And then when we need to be political experts, and when we need to be, the internet is full of experts.
Right.
I mean, we all armchair quarterback our way into hell. All right, check this out.
Everyone seems to be on Facebook in your friends list. It's amazing how that works.
Exactly. So, speaking of words with an X in it, that zero-scaping business yesterday.
Yes.
John from Saskatoon wrote in, hey, that's where Coulter Walls hails from. Writes a lot of songs about Saskatoon.
Saskatchewan, yeah.
Yeah. He says, Scape and Bergina, or Bergenia.
Bergenia. I don't know what that is.
I don't know either. I don't know how to take it.
I'm not going to look it up because right now I'm okay with John from Saskatoon. If I look that up and find out it's something like a butthole, then I'm really going to be ticked off.
Yeah, what if it's a butthole? You don't want it to be.
That's why I'm not looking it up. I'm not going to look up Bergenia.
Yeah, we don't
Bergenia.
know. Yeah, always clean your Bergenia.
Some Saskatoon thing, some Saskatchewan thing up there.
Anyway, it says I just finished turning my lawn into mulch. Raised beds and garden boxes. 6 inches of mulch spread over the grass is what you need. Most absorbent companies, arborist companies, absorbent companies. Companies can really suck up the liquid.
Me. All right, good.
Yep. They will send you truckloads of it for cheap. That is true. Dogs don't mind going on it, and it's easy to pick up after them. The mulch slowly breaks down over a few years and enriches the soil below immensely, given water shortages and climate change, eliminating lawn and replacing it with mulch and beds of native plants that tend to require less water is the way to go. Google no-till gardening if you want to get into it. Love the show, John. Yeah, man. I'm into it. We talked about that zero-scaping thing yesterday, and we got a bunch of replies about it.
Yeah. You're still going to call it zero-scaping, even though it's zero-scaping.
I can't help it. I've said it that way my whole life. Zero-scaping.
Zero-scaping.
Which sounds like me saying zero wrong.
The O is what you don't want to say zero. You want to say zero-scaping.
I can't help it. It's one of those
zero-scaping.
Things. It's just stuck in my head. And
I know it is.
Can't get rid of it.
So I'm looking at photos of no-till gardening, and right now I'm just visualizing. I'm like thinking, oh my God, I'm just visualizing in my head the letter that I would get from the HOA if I did this to my lawn.
Well, see, this is the biggest problem. HOAs are the big thing standing in front of everything because they, for whatever reason, they think they need to have the final say in all this bull crap, and it sucks because that's what's going to be hard to change. Yeah, there it is. Chat, you can see some pictures of it.
Yeah.
Look. We've got neighbors with so I was talking to Kim about this yesterday. We have neighbors with really beautiful zero-scaping. Okay, I feel like I'm saying zero, like zero.
Zero. Hey, zero.
How many times have you seen me this month? Zero. Anyway, they've got this beautiful, beautiful setup they've done with their yard, and it's eliminated all the lawn stuff, and it's basically a deal like this. And I said, well, how did they do that and get away with it? She goes, no, it's not a problem. You just have to do it slowly. She goes, you can't just overnight
over time.
It. Yeah, because then the HOA doesn't notice that it happened, and by the time you're done, it's beautiful and they love it. So you just have to slowly, go in there, take a little strip out, and add a little sneaky, and then before you know it, the HOA is just none the wiser. They don't know. HOAs suck anyway. They freaking suck.
They do.
Gosh dang it, I hate them. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a trend.
And then they allow people to have like hot pink trim on their houses. It is so inconsistent. Their rule.
Yeah, they suck. Look,
Yeah,
HOA. Your acronym means horrible.
Overlord assholes.
There you go. We don't.
I'll help you out with this one.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's good. That's exactly the one I was looking for. Very, very well done. All right. Well, thanks for that. We're going to do a quick phone call. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you heard me. We got to make sure this is set up. Yeah, there we go. Because we're going to do
555 TTTT.
TTTT. We're going to bring Gwen in, and we're going to do this. All right, everybody. Pull up to the beautiful tea set table that we have set before you and get ready to test the TMS tea, or at least Brian and I are going to. And then we're going to talk to Gwen about why this tea is rad and why you might all want to try to get it yourself. Gwen, welcome to the show. How are you?
Oh, I'm lovely. How are you guys?
Good, doing
We're
great.
good.
Are you still in you're still in Montana or no? Did you move?
I am still in Montana. Yes, I am.
All
I'm
right.
not
Really?
in Red Lodge anymore.
Okay.
but-
Really close to Captain Pike's summer home.
Oh my God.
Is that where he
Holy
is?
shit.
Is that where he
So-
is up there? Is that supposed to be?
So we watched the first episode of Strange New Worlds,
Yeah.
which I'm super, super stoked for.
Yeah.
It looks great. It opens with him in his home in Bear Creek, Montana, which is a podunk town of 70 people, like
Oh.
10 minutes from Red Lodge over the hill.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was a mining town like 50, 60 years ago. But it was bizarre just seeing Bear Creek pop up. I had to pause the show and like talk to my partner, like, what the hell is going on?
That is
Right,
crazy.
right.
So do you guys? You probably are all fans. I don't know how people feel about Montana-based entertainment. So you got that. You got your Yellowstone show, right?
People love the Yellowstone.
Do
People
they?
love
Okay.
the Longmire, but that's Wyoming.
Yeah, that's true.
Close enough.
Close
We're
enough. You guys are
half an hour
neighbors.
from the border.
So that's interesting, just to have all this stuff lately that's like set in your neck of the woods. It's a little bit weird.
Yeah, people are discovering us. It's unfortunate.
It is, right? Because housing prices go up. It sucks. It's the worst.
Yeah, I
hate
just bought a house. Tell me.
Yeah. We have a neighbor. So we have a neighbor of ours who when they bought here, they spent like $230,000, and with the recent bubble, they sold for $1.2 million.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's really gross. And then they moved to Montana, out in the middle of nowhere, where they got a house for like $480,000, but it came with 12 or 13 acres of land.
Jeez.
And they are living
That's the way
the life.
to do it, sadly.
Yeah, they're loving it,
You
except
remember
their internet sucks. They have terrible internet. I'm like, well, what'd you think you were going to get when you go out in the middle of nowhere? It's got to use like satellite or something, and it's bad.
Yeah, well, for $600,000 profit, maybe they can buy a satellite or something. I don't know.
Yeah, send their own satellite,
Run-
internet satellite.
Run their cable from Washington or across the tip of Idaho.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
they're loving
yeah,
it though.
I get the best of both worlds. I'm up in Great Falls, so there's an Air Force base just outside town, so I have fiber.
Oh,
nice. Perfect.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Wherever the government is, they're going to pull in the big bonus business. Yeah. That's good. Well, we have one thing we like government for. Let's move into this tea business today. So you've made a new tea. Oh, I forgot the bag. I was going to show off the
mine
bag
upstairs too. But
what are
you
you
probably
guys
have a bag
doing?
there that you can show, right? Or do you have a bag, Gwen?
No,
Nope?
I don't.
Okay. Oh, really?
I don't have labels on the bags I have at home. I know what they are. I just
Yeah,
of course.
write real quick in Sharpie.
It's just really a nice bag. I just wanted to show people how nice the bag is. Brian's always showing off his bag. I thought we'd show off this bag. See what's going on.
Are you run my OnlyFans page? I
Yeah,
didn't realize
I
you
do,
had
yeah.
access to that. Dang it.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
on the lower tier, so I don't get all the really good
Oh,
stuff.
Yeah, that's
but-
why you only get the bag.
Yeah, I only. I'm on the bag tier.
That's right. Yeah.
Can you
You
do
gotta
that
pay
on there? Is
cool.
that a thing people can do on OnlyFans? Can they have like, well, this one's
I
only
don't know.
getting, yeah.
Somebody had a show title. That's why you only get the bag.
Oh yeah. Draw 1705 has got it all taken care of.
All right, so this was made. I made this before we, obviously before we called you, before the show even started. I put it in a thermos so it'd stay warm. Brian's got his
Okay.
nicely steeped and ready
How
to
do you
rock.
make it?
I haven't tried it yet, so we're gonna give it a little. So first of all,
hold on, Scott. So how did you make it? How did you make?
Oh, how did
yours?
I'm sorry. I thought you said how do you or what did you think of it? Make it. So we did it. Kim did it. Let me make sure I give her credit because she's good at this.
Otherwise, you would have put the leaves in a glass, microwaved it, put cold water in there, and waited for magic to happen.
I wish so bad you were wrong about that. I really wish you. I wish that was like hyperbole. It's not. That's what I would have done because I'm bad at these things. But my wife, who's really good at it, she has this beautiful little teapot set thing. She's got a steeper. She's got all this stuff. So she does the whole schmear, and did the whole
when I got a hold of you years ago with this tea, I sent a fancy infuser up to you. All you got to do is scoop the leaves in, plop it on the cup.
Oh, that's what she used. That's what she used. That was it. I couldn't remember where I got that.
The infuser. Okay.
Yeah. I totally forgot where I got that.
Fantastic. Oh my god.
That thing's so easy, even Scott can use it.
That's right. Even though I haven't.
That improved my tea input dramatically because it was like, oh man, loose leaf tea. What do I got to get that little ball out. I got to open it up. I got to somehow fit the tea in there.
Yeah.
And
then, it's a bunch of work, but this made it easy. So that's what
tea balls.
That is. Ooh, what is a tea ball? What is a tea ball? What's a tea ball?
That's the next level on my OnlyFans page.
Oh, tea ball. Yeah, tea ball when I was growing up was a little baseball game you played.
I invite a toddler with a plastic bat over.
Oh, that's so weird. I just learned that T-ball was a thing this past weekend.
Oh, really?
I've never heard of it before.
Oh, yeah.
You'd never heard of it? Oh my gosh, I have pictures of me playing T-ball when I was 8. I should find those. I should unearth those. They're terrible. I was a very bad player. One time I hit the ball really hard. It was like an awesome hit, but I was so scared about actually getting a hit that I ran instead of to first base in the diamond we were on. I ran to third base on the diamond next to us and rounded its bases. And
Oops.
Yeah, it was real bad. I never forgot that. That's burned
Was that
into my
where
soul.
you were crouched down in the team photo with your little ball hanging out?
No, that was soccer, but it was similar.
Whole different
era.
T-ball. Yeah.
It may have been that same year, but it was soccer that year. Anyway, because you got those little short soccer shorts, and I didn't wear underwear that way. And
I played soccer. I know that one.
yeah,
Oh.
this happens a lot. Anyway, all right, so let's test it.
The question here is, does your tea have milk in it? Did she make it with milk?
I didn't do any milk. Should I have done milk?
I did milk in mine. Yeah, because
I'm drinking it without milk.
Okay, I'm drinking it raw ass, straight out of the deal.
There's the Brit in me will not do Earl Grey or English breakfast tea without milk. So
Yep, I've got no milk, just a little bit of pure white sugar, no adulterating flavors.
I have no sweetener of any sort, and I have to say, I really like this. I like this lemon thing I'm getting out of it. So what's in there?
So not a lot of people know, but bergamot, which makes Earl Grey what it is black tea with bergamot, is the extract from the peel of the bergamot orange, native to Italy.
Okay.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yep. It's really a lemon. It's a lot closer to a lemon, but it's technically an orange.
Okay.
So
I guess I do. You know what? I'm getting kind of an orange vibe now that you say that. Like it's definitely citrusy and kind of in the family. But now that you say orange, I guess I can see that it's a kind of orange or a variation of orange. Sort of can taste it.
So depending on the Earl Grey you get, it might be the extract of the bergamot fruit. It might be the peel. It might be the flower. Traditional's the peel because it was medicinal. The Earl Grey was invented because the Earl of Grey, Viscount Howick, wanted a tea that would overcome the lime in his water. Lime the stone, not lime the fruit.
Oh, lime stone. Yeah,
stone. Mm-hmm.
Got it.
There was real nasty lime in the water up there, and it affected the flavor, and his tea tasted wrong. So a traveling alchemist from China gave him some bergamot to put in his tea, and he liked it so much it became a thing, and he eventually sold the recipe to Twinings.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because they're a giant.
So
brand.
they were kind of the first mass producer of Earl Grey.
They invented Earl Grey.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's still huge. I mean, that's
yeah.
And it's Twinings. I never knew if it was Twinings or Twinings. So Twinings.
Twinings.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I always thought it was Twinings as well, but I bet the British
You want to
are
get a
weird.
cup of the Twinings in the morning.
Yeah. So this is Jean Luck Pickard tea, except it's well, no, this is what that is,
It
right?
is, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a little more floral than a typical Earl Grey, which I really, really like.
Yeah, I do too.
really like this a lot.
And I usually
So I
don't
made
like the
this one-
floral. I'm usually not into the flower taste, but I kind of like it in this case. It's good.
So a lot of people call Earl Grey flowery or perfumey. Do you know why?
Why?
Because bergamot exists in 80% of women's perfumes in America.
Oh, weird.
Really? Oh, that's crazy, huh? Okay.
So people highly associate it with perfume.
That's like licking my grandma's neck, kind of is what it tastes like.
God, I hope not.
All right. Now, we didn't make this clear at the beginning, but we should. This is candidate numero uno for our tea level on the TMS Patreon, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yep. I was talking with them a couple months ago, and you guys said you wanted a tea for TMS, and we came up with the testing the ship's phasers because Gene Luck Pickard, as you said, drank Earl Grey.
Right.
So
sure did.
Right.
That makes perfect sense. I think
drink
people
Earl
are,
Grey while testing the ship's phasers.
I think people are really going to like this. So the way it works is that level up on our Patreon, if you sign up for that one, every month you get this Phoenix Pearl tea, and you get it in that sweet little bag I was describing that's upstairs, and I can't show anybody.
With a whole bunch of great TMS in-jokes, by the way. We're not going to spoil them for you. You've got to actually see get the bag yourself to see all of the TMS in-jokes.
Yep.
and I'll have them on the website.
Yeah, pretty awesome. So, and if you're curious, website, what? Go to phoenixpearltea.com. Do we have a /TMS or no? I don't remember if you did.
And I can certainly set that up.
Wouldn't be.
It's not available yet, and my website is closed this week for maintenance. I've got a brand new website coming up this coming
cool.
Monday.
Oh, nice.
Very cool.
Very cool. Yeah. Well, that's
have
awesome. And if
all
any
sorts
of you,
of new features like subscriptions, so you can subscribe to this tea if you really like it and get a bag every single month
that's
outside
cool.
of every other kind of subscription.
That's very
brand
cool.
new feature of the new website.
Very, very cool.
very
So I was talking to who was I talking to? I don't remember. But anyway, somebody was saying that the tea market has gotten crappy, and their description to me, I don't remember who this was. Oh, it was the guy at this coffee shop in St. George, and he was going on and on and on about how the current state of tea is no good, and you should only get teas from little shops and places that really curate what they're doing, and no weird stuff about bergamot and all the stuff you know. So
Bergamot.
does that
yes.
jive with you though?
Different flavor.
Does that jive with you?
Kind of a greasy taste.
Greasy
to it,
flavor to it. Does that sound right to you? Like your world, obviously, you guys are very curated, but the mainstream state of tea, he was acting like it was a big mess right now, like not a cool.
I mean, it's the shipping routes mostly. Is like it's really hard to get good tea because it comes from China on a big shipping container that takes for goddamn ever. So people are getting cheaper and cheaper teas that are available here. They're getting them from cheaper sources. Some are probably getting it from like Argentina, which grows a lot of black tea, believe it or not.
I didn't know that.
I don't carry any Argentinian black tea because I have yet to find a single grower in Argentina that grows good black tea.
Why is that, do you think? They just don't have the right setups or
Temperate climate. maybe?
Because they prefer the herb they drink down there with more caffeine than tea, which is yerba mate.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Never even heard of that.
What is the caffeine level of this stuff, by the way? Like, if coffee is a 10, where does this sit on the caffeine range?
If coffee's a 10, what you're drinking right now is probably like a 3.
Oh,
maybe
really?
a 2.
Okay.
Nice
A
and mild.
straight black tea would be like a 4.
Gotcha.
Mate would be like a 6.
Okay.
Really? So even the mate is still not like right
Yeah,
up at the level of coffee?
Is there one that
if you
is?
want tea, if you want tea that's like coffee, you want to go to Ecuador and get the Wyusa.
Ooh.
Wyusa is a relative of mate, which we carry proudly. I have one called the Song of Storms. It's amazing.
I've got a bag of that, or half a bag now upstairs.
Have you tried it?
I have. That's why I only have half a bag. Because I
You like
like
it?
I love it. Yeah.
It's good. It's grassy. That has the same caffeine as coffee.
Okay.
Oh, really?
If you make it properly.
Okay. And is it good? Like, you can make it taste good and all that? Okay.
That stuff got me through college.
Man, I just did a search for Wyusa, and here's the #1 result. Viewers left horrified by a 90-year-old granny who enjoys sex orgies. Why is that on
I'd
there?
love to know how you spelled Wyusa. Did you spell it O-R-G-Y or something? Or
No, I did WYUSA.
So I just dropped it in your
It's like
Discord
Wyoming.
chat there.
It's like Wyoming, USA.
Oh, it's with a G? Oh.
It's
The
pronounced
G-U-A, yeah.
Wyusa.
Oh.
G-U-A-Y-U-S-A. But it's
Oh,
pronounced
okay.
Wyusa.
Oh, and they have like...
It's because they heard you talking about licking grandma's neck. Like it's Google and their listening algorithm is why you're getting stuff like that.
Oh, no. I was afraid I'm on a list now.
Google's
Damn it.
listening.
Well, this looks interesting, too.
But I should also mention that pixie blush that you love so much, Scott, that you can't drink anymore because you're off the shug.
Yeah.
Has double the caffeine of coffee.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I do remember that thing used to get me pretty hyped when I would
But
drink
it's
it.
better for you because it has theanine.
Yeah, that's true.
All tea, mate, Wyusa is theanine, which regulates with your natural circadian rhythm. So it slowly brings you up and slowly drops you off.
Is there a way to?
I
Is
like
there a way
that.
to? Yeah, I never felt like jittery on it.
No, it doesn't give you the jitters. It doesn't give you the crash, but it brings you to the same high as a double shot espresso.
Yeah, I really like that about it. Let me ask you this question: is there any way that pixie blush stuff could ever be artificially sweetened so that it's not so much damn sugar, like monk?
Not
Yeah.
Not the pixie blush, because the pixie blush is actually the way that they make the flavors so proper with that one.
Yeah.
Is it's mixed with blueberry and raspberry and vanilla extract in the sugar crystals.
Oh.
They actually grow sugarcane right next to the tea plantation.
Yeah.
And they harvest the sugarcane, process it, soak it with extracts, grind the matcha, the green tea super, super, super fine, and then tumble them together so the matcha binds to the sugar crystal.
Oh, okay. So it's probably got some real basic, like rudimentary connective stuff there that you can't reproduce simply by, introducing an artificial flavor or something. Or
I'd have to spray extract on matcha powder, which would just get you a big bag of clumpy matcha.
Ooh, clumpy matcha.
So we have a lot of coffee drinkers in the tadpole. What is your recommendation for like a good starter tea for somebody who's only been enjoying the bean?
I love that question. Enjoying
okay.
the bean.
Also another.
Yeah, that'll get you on another list. Woo!
Yeah, exactly.
As a lesbian, I can tell you I enjoy the bean on a daily basis. So,
Yeah.
if you want the caffeine, you want to go for matcha because it's got double the caffeine. There's a bunch of delicious flavors of blueberry and raspberry and vanilla, and I just put out an Earl Grey black tea matcha that's super good that I should probably send to you, Brian. And super high caffeine. You want to drink that as a latte. You want to make it with milk. I make mine with oat milk. I've got this mug I was starting with over here is a masala chai. If you do the masala chai lattes, cardamom, ginger, cinnamon.
Yeah.
Love
I make
the
them with oat
masala
milk.
chai.
Oh yeah,
I
oat milk's the best, dude. Whenever that happened, my life changed for the better. But oat milk's great on everything. For everything.
I'm off the dairy
Yeah, same.
because makes me toot.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I do the oat milk.
Yeah, oat milk's great. We used it in what did we do? Oh, I can't remember now. Some other fancy thing I got while I was on my way to Vegas, and they used oat milk instead of milk, and it was so good.
Like some sort of macchiato or latte or something
like that. It wasn't like, I don't know. I'm not really a coffee guy, but they made something that tasted good, and it was no sugar in it. Also, it was like sugar free.
Yeah.
They used monk fruit to sweeten it.
Oh,
and
nice.
They used
Monk fruit's great.
Yeah, monk fruit's awesome, and they used that. They used the oat milk. And the other thing is, my daughter would love more people to use oat milk because she's like super big on like let's do less environmental damage. And I guess almond milk takes like 4 or 5 gallons of water per almond or something.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah.
It's really bad. But oat milk.
I like the
Almonds
flavor.
are the
I
big
like the
reason
flavor of
California's
oat
in a
milk
drought.
better, too.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the other
really?
thing. That's the other thing, Brian. The oat milk flavor is better than that almond milk flavor, at least in my
Totally
opinion.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how you milk an oat, but hey, whatever they're doing, keep doing it.
Keep milking
I
them
think
oats.
you soak it in water for a real long time and cheesecloth it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think
So
it's
it's
that
really
simple.
just oatmeal. It's like
I mean, yeah, it's
oatmeal
kind of.
milk, oatmeal residue.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it because it tastes like cereal milk, but it's good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
In short though, yeah, if you want the caffeine, go for matcha. If you want the caffeine but not a latte, go for the Wyusa, which again is spelled with Guayusa. Look up Song of Storms on my website. It's delicious.
Yeah.
If you want the flavor with caffeine, go for a black tea with chicory root.
Okay.
People love chicory because it's got that roasty flavor.
Yeah.
If you don't want the caffeine, there's tons and tons of chicory root herbals. I have a coffee replacement on my website that is called Ram's Head. It tastes like fermented coffee, really.
Ooh.
Oh.
It's made
Weird.
with lingxi mushrooms and it's got chicory. It's got all sorts of good stuff in it.
Interesting. Is it is it more savory then? Like a
Mhm.
like
It's got a savory flavor. It's really deep. It's really earthy. It's
Okay.
it's weird. It's not for everybody, but
Yeah.
it's like a fermented coffee in a way. If you get that, don't put milk in it.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't no. Mushroom milk is not great.
No, that's not a
Mushroom milk. Gross. That sounds gross. And I love mushrooms, but
I had somebody order an iced latte with the Ram's Head once, and they handed it back to me, and I poured a little in a shot glass, and it was vile. It was awful.
Well,
I
that's
have
good
had
to know.
a mushroom infused tequila in a margarita that was incredible.
Was it?
So good?
Absolutely.
Mushroom infused?
Mushroom infused tequila. There's a place here in Denver called Ghost Donkey. It's right by the train station.
I love that.
Ghost donkey.
Yeah.
Ghost Donkey, and they make the best. Like they have a dozen different kinds of tequila, a lot of different infused, and then they also do quesadillas and like more snack foody kind of stuff as opposed to like full on smothered burritos and stuff. But stuff that you can sit there and eat with your hands instead of having to have a fork and knife.
I played keyboard for Ghost Donkey for a few years.
Did you? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, they were awesome.
And they opened for Pink Floyd that one year. It was great.
Oh yeah, it was a hell of a thing. Great tour and everything. All right, well here's what you're gonna want to do at home if you're interested in these things, and I'm talking like really cool, like assembled by smart people for the right taste and all that sort of thing. Go check out phoenixpearltea.com and become a teabagger yourself.
Well, once the website's up, go there after Monday.
Oh yeah, go there after Monday. Write
Go
it
to
down.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Feel free to go to our website. I'm just
Okay.
not shipping orders right now.
Oh,
We are
gotcha.
closed
Okay.
for the week. There's a notice on the front, but go to the website, buy some tea. It'll ship out on Monday. So feel free to go buy some stuff. And hey, Claire, if you love masala chai, buy my masala chai. It's my specialty.
Yes.
I'm traditionally trained in the art of masala chai. I source all my own spices. I blend my own spices.
Yeah.
She wants to know if you ship to Ireland.
Hell yeah, of
All right.
course.
Yeah.
Good.
I ship to Ireland should be no problem. The UK, I've hit trouble shipping to the UK.
It is
since
the UK
Brexit.
part of Ireland. She's in Northern Ireland, which is the UK part.
Shit.
Well,
I almost made you bleep me there. Call myself.
that's
We'll
all right.
figure it out. Maybe she has to, cross the border down to Galway or something and pick it up.
Yeah, Claire, get in the car and go. Drive on the
Just
wrong
write
side
a
of the road.
strongly worded letter to Boris Johnson.
There we go. And
Yeah.
send
Sure,
a
it'll
column,
help.
would you?
Yeah, stupid Brexit. Well, all right. It's good to talk to you, Gwen. I hope you're doing good up there, and may all your teas be bagged. Nope, that's not what I meant. I don't know what I meant, but
No.
we wish you
May
nothing.
all your
but-
leaves be loose.
all your leaves be loose. There you go. And go find some more beans or something. I don't know what that means. We'll see you later. All right, we're
my.
back. We're back, everybody. We're back.
Yes.
All right. Hey, how about some of this? Oh, look at this. It's time for the news. Yeah, that's right. The news is brought to you by...
Do you like Firefly and The Expanse? Do you need a little darkness in your sci-fi? Well, check out The Karasu, a short story written by Riley Boydston, now available on Kindle for just $1. That's right, $1. A pirate crew trying their best to survive in a universe ruled by the tyrannical sanctum happen upon a derelict ship, only to find themselves facing their worst fears. The first short story in a collection titled The Books of the Void. Check out The Karasu, Karasu.
I like it. Space pirates are my favorite space subgenre. I love
My
it.
favorite kind of pirates are space pirates.
Yeah, honestly, I don't like regular water pirates. Man, they're fine.
Yeah, they've really lost their luster over the last few years with the real ones.
Yeah. But if you're telling me you're gonna, try to commandeer a ship full of, I don't know, important space rocks or something.
Companions, sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. All right, here's your first story of the week or the day. Big airline United in the news.
Sure. Heard of them. I used to fly them all the time.
I used to too. I hate them though now.
I do. I hate them as well.
They're really hard to work with. Anyway, United Airlines passenger opened an emergency exit and slid down the wing.
Nice. I hope the plane was parked at the time and he didn't just say, "I'm on my way out. Bye-bye."
Well, here are the deets. A passenger aboard the airplane was arrested for opening the emergency gate and sliding down the wing after the plane had landed. So they had landed. The incident happened at 4:30 a.m. Nothing good happens at 4:30 a.m. in my opinion. That is a bad time to be alive. Thursday, when Flight 2478, a Boeing 737-900 from San Diego, touched down at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, where the plane was approaching the gate, a man opened the overwing exit in row 21, climbed out of the plane and onto the wing, and then jumped down. Did a little sliding, but then jumped down. You're not allowed to do that. That's the thing you're not supposed to do. Randy Frank Davila, age 57, has been arrested for his reckless behavior by Chicago officials. He walked out onto the wing of the plane and jumped onto the airfield, according to the police. He was arrested and charged with criminal assault, according to police as well. He will appear in court on June 27th. Passenger on the plane in the same flight shared a post on Twitter. It showed the aircraft's emergency door open. It says in her post, "Guy jumps out of plane before we get to the gate," she said in the caption. So nobody actually got it on camera, unfortunately, like the actual opening and jumping out. Because, you don't have your phone.
I would think this guy was doing it for his TikTok. Like he was doing it for the likes and the views.
He might have been, yeah. I would love to see that. But anyway, they have real rules about that. So that dude's busted and will be arraigned. So
he never gets to sit in the exit row again. He broke the one rule of exit row.
Yep. It's like that Delta flight I took to Japan and that drunk Japanese businessman who kept punching his wife next to him.
Oh,
and so the flight attendant goes over to try to get things calmed down, and he punches her. And then they were like trying to restrain him. He gets up, walks all the way to the front of the plane, bangs on the captain's door. Mm-hmm. He comes out.
This is while the flight's in the air. Right?
Yeah, we are over the Pacific Ocean, like in the middle of nowhere.
Good Lord, oh God!
I was a little freaked out. I hated it.
Yeah,
But he pulls this. This guy comes out and he goes, "Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna turn around and we're gonna land in Alaska. We're gonna dump you off, and you're gonna never fly here again, and you're gonna be taken into custody." He says,
and it's totally up to you how you get home from Alaska. Good luck.
But then I guess they came to some agreement where he would still be banned, still be in trouble, but they were going to get to Tokyo and they were going to separate him and his wife, and I can't remember how it all went. So that's what they did. So we didn't have to.
That's where the duct tape. I love the duct tape to a chair. If it didn't cause so much damage with the glue residue to the chair, I would think that should be just used as a default, like the first infraction.
I agree. You're out. You're done.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a fun one. If you ever write a book about murdering your husband, maybe don't admit that you've actually murdered your husband.
Maybe use a pen name.
Ghostwriter. Yeah. This woman who wrote How to Murder Your Husband, that's the name of the book, accidentally confessed to murdering her real-life husband. In 2011, Oregon-based romance novelist Nancy Crampton Brophy is her full name.
Nancy Crampton Brophy.
Yeah. She penned a guest post on a writer's blog titled Consequently about police procedure. Let's see. Campton Brophy wrote, quote, "After all, if the murder is supposed to set me free, I certainly don't want to spend any time in jail. And let me say clearly for the record, I don't like jumpsuits and orange isn't my color," unquote. The 700-word piece was then split into two sections detailing the pros and cons of killing your villainous husband. 7 years later, on June 2nd, 2018, Crampton's Brophy's real-life husband, Dan Brophy, was filling buckets of ice and water at a sink to prepare for his day as an instructor at the Oregon Culinary Institute in Portland when he was shot in the back. After Brophy collapsed on the ground, he was shot again in the chest at close range. His body was later found in the classroom by the students. While Brophy's death gripped the Oregon culinary industry, nobody seemed more shocked than his wife. For those of you who are close to me and feel this deserved a phone call, you are right. I'm struggling to make sense of everything right now, she said at the time. In a plot twist that rivals her own books, Crampton Brophy was arrested 3 months later and charged with her husband's murder. The self-published romance novelist is currently standing trial, which opened on the 4th of April, so this just started happening in Portland. While the tongue-in-cheek essay serves as a major flag for investigators, the trial judge has deemed it inadmissible as evidence on the grounds that could be unfairly prejudice the jury. But in the book itself, she details how she did it.
Oh, no way. Really?
Yeah,
Seriously?
or how she was going to do it and then did it. And then now she's on trial for doing it.
You know, at least OJ had the common sense to put the word if in the title and say, if I did it.
Yeah. If I did it, here's how I would have done it.
Right.
This reminds me of something where...
I mean, it feels like this is how you prove that you want... Oh, my gosh, look at her.
Yeah, I know. She scares the hell out of me.
She does.
She looks like somebody that might murder her husband.
She does. That is like the worst photo you could possibly, worst mugshot you could possibly have taken.
It's pretty gnarly. She looks like she's about to explode and have a demon come out of her.
Wow.
I know what it reminds me of. It just hit me. So that documentary I watched about that Jim will fix it guy in Britain, who was like the most popular celebrity in Britain of all time. He was a DJ. He did that Jim will fix it show, and then it found out like just prior to his death that he was like a total like child molester and been doing it for years and just horrible dude. And it reminded me of that because in that there were a bunch of times where he would say out loud things that were like he was saying it out loud, but people were so enamored they were missing it.
Jeez.
And that's like this level of hubris that I don't know how you get there.
Yeah, right.
You know,
right.
Where you're just like so...
It's
up
not
there.
even as subtle as the Jinx who forgot that he had the little microphone on his shirt when he went to the bathroom. It was like, they're gonna figure out that I did it. Oh crap, they're gonna figure out that I did it.
Yeah, but in this case, you're like
he was actually
openly saying it. Yeah, like you're saying it so openly
almost
that
proud of it.
Yeah, and it's almost like
you're caught or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yet, the guy lives to 80 something and never did. But he died before they could get him in trouble.
A jackanape.
Anyway, Claire doesn't like that story. I'm sure she probably everyone grew up with that dude. He over there, he's like our version of, I don't know what to compare him to because he had stuff for kids, he had stuff for adults, he had stuff in the music business, he had stuff for TV, just variety show stuff. He's just, he's gross.
It's like finding out that Ryan Seacrest has a dark... like a dark passenger.
Maybe it is like that. Except Seacrest is probably as good as example as we could get.
He's probably just as damn squeaky clean as he appears to be on television.
He seems fine. I can't. I mean, who knows? You never can tell with people, but he seems fine. We're not casting any aspersions in his direction. Is what we're saying. Okay, everybody.
Right. We're not saying Pee-wee. Pee-wee just masturbated in a movie theater in a porn theater. Come on now.
Yeah, you know how many people do that?
How many, Scott?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, I'm counting 7 right now.
All right, here's a fun one. I got to send this to my real estate friend. Real estate agents sued for alleged sexcapade in their client's home.
Nice.
This is another bold-faced thing to do. James and Laura Glenn expected an easy payday when they listed their 3-bedroom condo on a red-hot Hamptons market with the Browns Harris Stevens last spring. That's the name of the real estate company.
The real estate company, yeah.
But the listing agents, Christopher Burnside and Aubrey Peel... I'm not trying to make anything of their names.
I'm trying to think like Burnside and Peel.
Sounds like another law firm or something.
It does, yeah.
Anyway, had other uses for the unit in mind, according to the couple. In the lawsuit filed in December, the Glens allegedly had, rather than soliciting offers for the home, the agents used the guise of an open house to engage in a big sexcapade in its primary bedroom. The lawsuit, which alleged that Burnside and Peel breached their contractual and fiduciary responsibilities, in addition to inflicting emotional trauma on their clients, sought $100,000 in damages. Burnside, Peel, Brown, Harris, Stevens, and the Hamptons were named as defendants. The total lack of interest by defendants to act in the proper manner for the exclusive agent listing was compounded by the absolute disregard for another's privacy and flagrant disrespect for another's property, said the complaint. So they basically had an orgy in there and invited their friends.
Is that what the deal is? Because I'm trying to figure out what the definition of a sexcapade. Was it just the two of them having sex?
No,
or like
it was
for
them.
A long time.
I think it was them bringing people in.
Gotcha.
According to this, there was a. Let's see here. It's later down in the article. Here we go. Confronted. Someone counter offer.
Yeah, I'm looking.
His fiduciary duties was. Oh, here we go. Complaint Brimstone scheduled for May 20. No, that's not it.
Yeah, it looks like. I mean, it looks like it's just the two of them having sex.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I mean, they still shouldn't do that.
No.
It's not their house to do that in. But it's not. It doesn't look like it's like a big sex party. I thought it was.
See. Confronted with this information, the lawsuit claims Burnside confessed to using the bedroom for a sexual encounter and offered to continue the listing with zero commission and fulfill his fiduciary duties under the exclusive contract.
Why were you in there doing that?
I mean, okay, what they did is bad, but it's hardly deserving of the title sexcapade.
Yeah, I don't think the word sexcapade is good. Right?
Were they in costume on ice skates or something? It's like that's what I'm.
Right. When you put capade on something, it's like ice capades or
it's a performance. Exactly. Like,
dance capades.
Come see the Sesame Street sexcapades or whatever.
You've never seen Grover like this.
That's right. Boobs on ice.
Boobs on ice. No, don't do that. That would hurt.
No, don't do that one. Yeah. No.
Let's take a break. When we come back, Bill's out of town. He's driving with his wife to see some family. They're her side of the family. So he's not going to be on today. Instead, we have a substitute in the form of one Garrett Wines. And I won't even hint what's happening yet, but when he gets here, we'll talk about it. So that's coming up. I know.
We have Bobby and Garrett Wines on today's show.
I know.
Oh, the hair! Like I can't. I mean, I gotta leave. I can't compete with either with the hair product that's going to be on display over the next.
Brian,
hour.
It's a hair capade, really.
It is the hair capades.
Yeah.
It's the coif capades.
If you guys are ready for the hair coif capades, we got good news for you. So come back after this song, which you will now play. So what song is it?
Yeah, so playing a song by an artist named Yasi, Yasi, and probably most recently famous for a Taco Bell commercial. I love the Taco Bell commercials about the return of nacho fries and a whole deja vu thing. Their song, or her song, was featured in the background of that. But she's got a brand new R&B bop, which I'm just loving. This thing is so great. And we were in California yesterday for the Indie in the Middle, a song called California. Today we're going even closer in with a song called Beverly. This is Yasi with featuring Rick Wilson, and it is a brand new single. Let's see here. It's second in a handful of singles that Yasi is going to be releasing throughout the year. So no album plans, but certainly this song will be on everyone's ears. Here is Beverly featuring Rick Wilson by Yasi.
Hi, I'm Lily Tomlin. I'm a Pac-Man freak.
Just once, I'd like to taste something without getting a mouthful of hair.
The Morning Stream. It's what's in the yogurt.
That's funny. I didn't plan that yogurt thing with the yogurt.
Which would just be cereal in Scott's case.
It would just be cereal. Hey, Brian, who was that again? I liked it.
That was Yasi, Yasi, and a brand new song called Beverly.
Very nice. Beverly.
Yeah.
Beverly. Oh, no.
Prussia.
Did they get married in the lore? What's going on in Picard these days? I haven't seen any of this Picard season 2.
I haven't seen any of season 2.
And I fell off season 1. I was waiting. 1, so no.
We actually just finished, I'm not going to use it as a recommendal, but we did just finish the second half of season 3 of Discovery.
Oh. Yeah.
Whatever the current season is, a 4th, right? I can't even remember. But it was good. You know, it's more, it's I'm looking forward to seeing Strange New Worlds and getting back to the problem of the week kind of.
Yeah, I really like that they're doing that. I think there was a lot of resistance to doing that, and I think them finally doing it. There's so much good buzz about this. Might be the one best decision they've made with Trek. So we shall see what they do.
I will say this: the second half of whatever the most recent season of Discovery was better than the first half of that season.
Oh,
so it did pick up in the second half.
Okay. Well, what's his name is my favorite
I like
character.
Michael Burnham.
Oh, he's great.
Michael
The
Burnham.
Michael Burnham is a good character. I also like the alien guy whose name I never remember. All right, I'm going to play.
Yeah.
I'm going to play a theme, and it's going to be a little longer than you're used to. But hey, it's a one-off, so why not? Here you go.
Today's quality cars are miracles of engineering precision.
I couldn't help but have a whole crash at the end.
Wow, nicely done.
Welcome to the program. Garrett Wines joining us this morning for Driving Stuff with Garrett. Garrett, welcome.
Sorry, Garrett, we're out of time.
Yeah. Sorry for the incredibly long intro, but it's good to have you here. How are you, man?
Brian, Scott, could one of you please call an ambulance? I appear to be in great need of medical aid.
Yeah, you're gonna need some. You're gonna need some traction, probably.
That's right.
I think that's my medical opinion. But anyway, it's good to have you here. We were when Bill told me he wasn't coming in, and then Garrett and I talk all the time, and Garrett's like, car this and car that, and he was like, why don't we just do one of these? So we're doing one. We're going to talk about cars.
Yeah, last time I filled in for Brian, we had a long car chat.
Oh, yeah.
We did. It was almost car talk, but that name was taken, so we didn't use it.
I was consider you could call this grinding actual gears.
Oh, very nice. That's pretty
good.
good. I like
Grinding
that.
actual gears with Garrett.
Yeah,
Nice.
actual gear grinding with Garrett. So it's good to have you here. Of course, we'll talk about some of the other cool stuff you're doing these days a little bit later. But we wanted to talk today about the Nissan Z. There's no number in front of it, right? Like usually there's a number.
There is no number. Yeah, this thing's been rumored for so long because the damn 370Z is over 10 years old now, basically unchanged. And so everyone thought the next one was going to be called the 400Z because it was rumored to have 400 horsepower.
Yeah.
And then Nissan was like, just kidding. It's just a Z.
Huh.
Have fun disagreeing on the name.
Yeah.
American and European pronunciators.
I think it's
Right?
probably
Yeah,
okay because Zed. It's called the Zed. I think it's probably okay because it's got its own iconic history, right? Like I remember the Datsun 280Z.
280Z? Yeah. My dad had one of those.
That was the coolest car. I want one now, in fact. Give me one of those, restore it. I don't want to do the work. It sounds like a lot of work, so don't make me do it. But just give me one of those restored and ready to rock, and I'd be really happy. Is this in any way sort of a throwback to that era, or are we looking...
100%. Yeah, there's so many... Like, every angle you look at this new Z, there's winks and nods and much less subtle throwbacks to older versions of the Z cars, because... you're right. The 280Z is one of the precursors, and before that we had the 240, which is the very first Z car, which back then you would have known them as a Datsun because Nissan was calling anything outside of Japan a Datsun.
That's right. Oh, now that's interesting. Were they were Nissan?
So in Japan they were Nissan?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
To my understanding, I think there were a couple cars specifically they called Datsun, but the simplified view is cars they sold outside of Japan got a Datsun moniker.
Got it.
Until I think like 84, 83.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. When I was in high school, short story here, my dad was buying and selling cars from California. He'd go to the auction out there, bring them to Utah and sell them in the local thing, or he would fix them up himself and sell them himself or whatever. He was doing this on and off and contracting with dealerships and stuff for used cars, and he would often come home with some really dumb, lame cars, but sometimes really cool cars, and one of them was a 300ZX, black, T-roof, like new almost in every way, and I got to use, and what would happen, the nice thing about this was if he was in between auctions or sales cycles, and I had a date on a Friday or Saturday night, I could take one of the cool cars on the date, and sometimes that would suck because he'd have nothing but lame cars, and I'd end up taking some stupid Chevette or something.
Chevelle.
Yeah,
Chevette.
Yeah, just garbage car.
Right.
But this one date with this one girl, I got to take that car. Had an amazing stereo in it, CD player, all this stuff. It was just so nice. black leather interior, beautiful car, and it was turbo. And I'm driving this thing around town.
Was this an 80s one?
This was an 80s one, for sure.
Okay, so this is the first 300ZX. There were like 2 gens of the 300ZX. If you had the turbo model, I believe that was a Garrett turbo.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? Wow.
Named after Garrett Wines, our guest today. Just kidding.
It's even spelled correctly. They have 2 R's and 2 T's.
Oh, nice.
Turbo company.
Well, this may speak poorly of that. I don't know. But when I was in the middle of driving that thing, I hit a bump, not too hard, but kind of a dip or bump where it wasn't clearly marked and I was going a little too fast or something. And basically, whatever the turbo is stopped working and parts of it fell out of the car and like scattered all over the road. So that was a lot of fun because I had to come home and go, Dad, I think something weird. I had to try to explain what the hell happened to the car, and that sort of sucked. But were the turbos not? I mean, what is the state of turbo? I don't know that I've ever known anyone who's had a car with turbo where it's worked for very long. They always break.
Oh, I had the Volkswagen New Beetle with turbo, and maybe used it twice.
Yeah. Did it never gave you trouble or broke down or anything?
No, I never had any problems with it. No.
All right. Maybe it's just my experience.
My last car had a turbo, and it was great. Turbos are fun, man. They make great noises. Also, they're horribly expensive. You broke like the second most expensive thing on that car.
I know I did. And then I did the same thing with an MR2. About a month later, I hit a speed bump too fast and I broke struts on it, and then the thing wouldn't turn anymore. And
you and Japanese sports cars apparently do not get along, which is
deal
hilarious because they are known for their reliability.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like I'm talking about some jalopy that nobody can trust or a total lemon or whatever. Well, this thing looks super hot. There's no plans for an electric, as best I can tell, right? This is just
no. This is in general, it's just kind of an awesome time to be into cars. Like regardless if you're excited about the new stuff, if you're into EVs, like that's exciting. But also if you're into gas engines, the writing's on the wall, and all the car manufacturers are just having one big last hurrah for gas-powered vehicles.
That's an okay, I wanted to ask you that because it does feel like that, but I always wonder if that's just my bias because I'm reading about EVs and I'm like following that whole market, and I get to hang around a Rivian last week in Vegas or 2 weeks ago. One of our fans drove one. Super cool truck. That thing blew my mind. And so the feeling in my head is, Brian and I even talked about this, like it feels like the next car, if I get another car, it'll be electric. Like why wouldn't I?
Yeah, I'm thinking either electric or hybrid. I'm looking at that Kia Niro and one of the 2 models that they have for that. I just want to see what reviews look like when they finally come out.
I saw a Nissan Juke yesterday that was I don't know if those are all electric, but the one I saw was.
They have an electric Juke?
Maybe it was converted. I had
I stopped making the Juke.
There was a Juke there. Whether it's old or what the deal was, I don't know. But it said electric on the side, so I assumed it was electric. I didn't actually verify this.
Listen, I would not call myself a Juke specialist, so I can neither confirm nor deny.
Is it weird that I kind of like the Juke?
It looks like 2022 Juke hybrid. Okay, never mind.
Okay, maybe it was a hybrid.
They're still making that hideous thing.
Now, what does it say about me that I think the Juke is kind of cool looking? Am I a broken human? Like, what's wrong with me?
Listen, your question of like, why would I get anything out of an EV? It really kind of depends on like, my answer to that is like, well, what is a car for you? Because if a car for you is getting A to B, yeah, I don't think there's much of an argument against just going EV at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Because like the issues around them used to be, well, you're never going to get the mileage you get out of the other car. Well, that's all changed. You're getting 350, 400 miles now. Okay, and then the other complaint was, well, top speed or even 0 to 60 speeds are all hindered by the limits of electric cars. That's not true at all anymore. Like
no, they're straight up the fastest car, and you really outside of extreme edge case modification scenarios, there's no beating electric straight line speed. They're just torque for days.
So as a guy who's super invested in that world as you are, and these cars, you're always interested in what's happening in that space and all of that. You're not one of these people that's like jaded about, well, these new EVs taking over, I'm going to sure miss. I mean, you're happy to see it go this direction. How do car aficionados feel about EVs? I guess is what I'm asking.
It's a mixed bag depending on what you're into. So like if your answer like to what a car is to you is essentially an appliance that you need to have to get to work or to just get around for commute purposes, Yeah, it's totally. There's really EVs are great, but if you're an enthusiast and cars to you are also something that you enjoy, and there's so many different things you can enjoy about a car. You can enjoy the way they look from like an artistic perspective. You can enjoy the way they drive, like different types of cars for enthusiasts feel different ways, drive certain ways, and you talk to one car enthusiast to another, they are going to prefer different things and different cars for different reasons. And that's kind of where the Z comes in. It is an enthusiast vehicle, like first and foremost, going all the way back to the 240. This is like Nissan's flagship sports car.
Yeah.
And it's the classic recipe of a sports car is engine in the front and it's rear wheel drive.
Right.
Like that is the classic sports car recipe. Also 2 doors.
Yeah.
So this is a brand new car that's going to be a 2023 model year. And the big news in enthusiast spaces, the reason we are all excited about it, is they're still going to be offering it with a 6-speed manual transmission.
Oh, nice. That's what you want. You don't want no automatics for losers, man. That's what I say.
So that's the thing, right? So this is like the big dichotomy between like, are you into cars as like for an enthusiast purpose, or are you into cars as like, I like the newest, latest, best from like a commuter purpose? Because if you're the latter, you're more likely to be into EVs and be very excited about that. But if you're into it for enthusiast purposes and you're more excited about the actual act of driving, you're probably going to still be more into the gas side of things, because EVs, while they cannot be beat in straight line speed, they're really heavy, which luckily that most of the weight is at the bottom, which still gives them a really low center of gravity, but you're not going to get like these light, spry, scalpel precision performance sports cars with an EV.
Interesting.
So far it doesn't exist. The batteries are simply too heavy.
So do you think there's a future where they get really, they focus on an EV sports car so much that they're like, all right, we have to consider this weight distribution and figure out a way to, like, I don't know, spread these batteries around the way they do with like an iPad, where it's like all, the battery's kind of everywhere to make it so it's nice and flat and long or whatever. Do you think there's a path for that?
I think so, absolutely. There's a lot of interest in it too, because like to people who haven't even like looked at a manual transmission in 30 years, it seems insane that there's people who prefer it. But enthusiast driving and the act of driving, it is a big hobby for a lot of people. And it honestly, for me, I kind of explain it to be like, I don't know, it's kind of a hipster thing. A lot of people still like vinyl. It's horribly inconvenient, but you may prefer it for one reason or another.
Yeah.
I'm that way about manual transmissions. It's just, I think it's more fun. I like the act of shifting a car myself. And so that exists, and there is that niche, and a lot of car manufacturers understand that. And as a matter of fact, I know Toyota for a fact has a prototype manual EV.
Oh, wow!
Wow.
There's companies working on it, and there's also like full-on EV conversions. A few years back, I'm a big fan of like professional competitive drifting, like what you would know from Tokyo Drift.
Sure.
There's
the best of the Fast Five movies, or the Fast and Furious movies, is Tokyo Drift. I love that movie.
Yeah. There's competitive forms of that, and a couple years ago they did they converted a Camaro to full-on electric, but to drift you have to have manual transmission. So it was a EV converted Camaro that still had a clutch and a manual gearbox. So
That's pretty cool.
Do a clutch dump and light the rear wheels up.
All right, so let's do this real quick. If you are somebody who somebody comes to you and says, I want Garrett's number one car pick for the next model year, or it could be a 2022. We'll give you a little leeway there.
Ooh.
What do you do? Where do you send them? And let's say that they're issues like, I mean, obviously there could be somebody, well, we need a van for the kids. I don't mean that. Like in this arena,
like enthusiast car,
yeah, and specifically, I guess it doesn't have to be Japanese make, but like in this zone, what's your go-to this year?
There's so many things to factor it, and I'm going to be hugely biased in this answer. But if like you want a good enthusiast car that isn't going to make you take out a second mortgage, I really love two manufacturers basically make the exact same car, Toyota and Subaru. We have the first gen of this. Katie drives one. It's a Toyota 86. They just came out with a whole new second generation of these cars. Over on Subaru, it's the BRZ.
Yeah. And
on Toyota, it is now the GR86. And it's a little 4-cylinder engine in the front. Power goes to the rear. You can still get it with a 6-speed manual. They're light. They're fun. They're not wicked fast in a straight line, but We take Katie's up to the mountains usually once a year, and it's among the most fun things I've ever done. Is just whip that thing around mountain roads.
That sounds great, and you're not going to break your bank, which is the key.
That's cool.
They start around 28, I think, brand new, and the used market, because the first gen's been around since 2013, so you can find a used one for a good price.
This is so weird. It's like talking to my dad back in the day. He used to be so into this stuff. So, all right, let me ask you one final question. If Garrett was going to go out and slap down, let's say you had $100,000 to work with to buy an EV today, what would get you?
Buy an EV today?
Yeah. Brand new electric vehicle.
Actually, don't know how much the Rivian is, but I love the Rivian.
Me
how much
too.
is a Rivian?
The Rivians they're about $100,000. Well, I think 80, starting the 85 range or something.
Then I'd probably go get a Rivian. That or I'd wait for the F-150 Lightning. I think that the F-150 Lightning looks. I love that it just looks like a real truck, like a normal truck. It doesn't look like something that in 5 years is gonna. It's gonna be like Epcot, where it's gonna look like
their version of space or their version of the future. Yeah. Exactly.
I guess I was so blown away by this Rivian, the little tour he gave us, that I walked away convinced that this is what I want my next car to be. But I'm like, I don't have 100. He works for Rivian, so maybe he gets a huge discount or something. But
probably.
I mean, $100,000, can't do it. It's not happening.
But I would. 67,500 on the R1T on the low end.
That's not too bad.
Yeah. Good luck getting it for actual sticker, though. I know allocations are quite difficult. It's like that new Hummer they put out. I've seen markups more than double.
Oh, really? Oh, they made an EV Hummer. That's right. Forgot about that.
It's absolutely insane. One of the most ridiculous looking EVs ever. I kind of love it though.
Oh, I kind of do too. Look at the top down.
But it's super low production, and the MSRP is already ridiculous. But I've seen them marked up to almost $500,000, depending on where you look.
I have to admit, this is a rad looking car. I didn't think I was
did a really
gonna.
Good job with it.
Yeah, when you said Hummer,
to capture the essence of what a Hummer, like what makes them look cool, and then also like it kind of looks like you could just take the damn thing to the moon.
Yeah,
and be fine.
Do you have any thoughts up or down on the what's the Volkswagen one, the car, brand new one?
Oh,
not the bus.
They just announced that they're doing an EV bus, which I love.
I really like that one too.
Is it a Touareg or is it a new designation?
I thought it had. Let's see, Volkswagen. I thought it had a new name, but maybe I'm remembering this wrong. Oh, here it is. ID4, it's called. Yeah. Any thoughts on that thing? Because I don't know. Kim and I, we like our Volkswagen.
As an enthusiast, SUVs make me die a little inside. They are. I'm glad every manufacturer has high volume selling boring cars because they fund the low volume selling sports cars that I love.
That's the attitude we have about John and I were talking about this. We need mobile games to thrive so that all our AAA games continue to get funding. That's the idea.
I mean, that's the only way you could probably sleep at night after that Warcraft mobile announcement.
Yeah, that's right. At least for me anyway. I don't know. That thing looks like poop. All right. Well, this is great. I still, to this day, think Garrett should be doing a regular show on cars. But in the meantime, you got plenty of other content. Tell people where they can get some of that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. amove.tv as always. But my big new thing is chronicling my first ever playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV over on YouTube. It's my first ever YouTube only content. I'm doing it with Kyle Ferguson from Into the Nexus, and you can find that at youtube.com/amovetv, AMOVETV.
You should do that because it's really good, and you guys are kind of kicking butt over there, and I'm super happy to see that. So congratulations.
It's my fastest growing content in a really long time, and it's been really rewarding.
Well done.
Go check it out.
Yeah, that's very cool. It's Garrett Wines, everybody. Zurple To His Friends, and you can find him at Garrett Art on Twitter as well. So make sure you spend a little time over there. Garrett, have a fantastic time. We'll see you next time this happens.
See you, Garrett.
Bye.
Bye, Brad.
It's a good one.
Into the ether.
Always like a good one like that. That's great.
Yeah, I try to time it so it works, but not always. That doesn't always work. All right. If you're all starving for a little science, I understand, and thank goodness we're here for you because now we're going to do this.
Science.
Time for some science with Bobby Frankenberger, who comes on the show and does, a little bit of catching us up on what's going on in the world of science. Bobby, welcome back.
Thanks.
for welcoming me.
You're
So
welcome.
I don't know why I was not expecting to be greeted.
You're welcome to be welcomed.
I feel like you're always going to be welcomed, and so welcome, I suppose, to the show. It's good to see you as always. I feel like we just saw you in Vegas, but I know it's been 2 weeks now, and it still feels like we were just there. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
What a great time.
Great photo floating around of Bobby in his freaking disco jacket he wore.
Yes.
It's so good.
Everybody
Disco
keeps
Jesus.
saying that I need to be wearing it to these, but I say save it for the events. Come on, guys.
Right.
Yes.
Why do you want to spill all your popcorn in the lobby? You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotta.
You want to see the jacket, then you need to come to Vegas.
Yep, come to Vegas, or in the meantime, go to South Carolina and bump into him at some store, at a Piggly Wiggly or something. Who knows?
I'll wear it to the store every time I go to the store, just in case.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect. All right. Well, one thing we like to do on our Tuesdays is get a little science update. What's going on in the world, that sort of thing. And Bobby brought something. What do you got, man?
Yeah. So a week ago, I was talking with Brian about some boring ANTP meeting, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
and Brian asked me a question that I gave kind of a lame answer to, which, Brian, you are asking me how, like, for some tips and advice on, like, training, because you're training for a bike ride, a long distance thing.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I told you, well, I kind of remember what I did for running, but I took a different, and I just wasn't prepared. So I started reading on it because I was going to send you some stuff. And as I was reading and learning more and more and more and refreshing my memory on what I knew, I thought, wow, this would be a great thing for other people. Like, we could talk about it. I wanted to talk about what happens to your body when you're training for an endurance like when you're endurance training, which is very different from other
this
types
is like a
of
speed
physical
race. Yeah, I'm not going for speed. I'm going for how do I last on the bike for 5.5 to 6 hours.
Right.
2 days in a row.
Yeah.
Right. And so to cut to the chase, I guess, and then I'll give some more info. But to cut to the chase, the idea with endurance training is you want to take it really whenever you're training and practicing and doing your workouts and exercises, you want it to all be very easy and slow, which is very different than other types. But why is that? There's a lot of science behind why it is that you want to go slow and easy. So when you're trying to train for a long distance sort of thing, whether it be running or cycling or something like that, you're trying to get your muscles used to doing an activity for a long period of time, which is very different than like trying to lift 150 pounds. I don't know what's a lot to lift. Is that a lot?
I think that's
Sounds
a
like
lot
to me.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot to me.
Yeah.
I don't lift weights, so
Seems like a lot. But it also seems like not a lot if you're doing it all the time. Like people would be in the 230, 300 range at the top end, but I think that still supports what you're saying, like start low. Yeah.
Right. So when you're lifting
low,
weights,
go slow.
Yeah.
when you're strength training or bodybuilding, the goal is a lot different. You're actually building muscle, or rather, you're increasing the size of your muscle, because you might not know this, but your muscle cells don't actually multiply. You don't make new muscle cells.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you actually, when you're weightlifting, strength training, bodybuilding, you're just increasing the size of the existing ones by adding stuff to it, by stuffing more things inside the cells. Basically, is the easy way to think about it.
Sure.
And so that's what you're doing when you're strength training, but that's not helpful when you're long distance endurance training, because the goal is different.
Right.
You don't, and it all comes down to energy, needing energy for your muscles to do their job, right?
Right.
And so I'm just going to call it energy, but for those who like to know the terminology, the energy that your body uses is in the form of what's called ATP, or like adenosine triphosphate, I think is what it's called. But I'm just gonna call it
America's
energy.
top podcaster. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Current, not next.
Ah, gotcha.
So it's ATP, and when you're endurance training, what you're trying to do is make it so that your body is better, more efficient at creating and using that energy. So the way you do that is by slowly training your body and slowly doing low intensity activities so that you can stay in certain zones and certain areas of heart rate and breathing that will put your body in a condition where hormones and different enzymes are moving around, triggering your body to say, oh, we need to do this more often. So when you're doing those types of things, when you're doing long distance runs or long distance bike rides and everything, the way your muscles change is that, first of all, you need to get oxygen to your muscles, right? The part of the fuel, so the fuel of exercise and your muscles is fat and carbohydrates, right? That's why you always hear about like carbo loading before a race or something like that.
People eat like 15 chickens and then
the ton of pasta. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you want fat and carbohydrates to give your body the fuel it needs to be able to last. But to turn those fats and carbohydrates into energy, your body needs oxygen. And so that's why you breathe so heavily when you're going and when you're running and doing all that kind of stuff. Because your body's trying to get more oxygen. So this is called, the other way to do it is called anaerobic, or without oxygen respiration or energy production.
Sure.
And the problem with doing it the other way is that produces what's called lactic acid, and it makes your muscles burn, right?
Yeah.
So you're used to that feeling. Now I'm giving all this background because it's going to help understand what it is that you need to do to make your body better at doing those things. If you push yourself too hard, and then you're going to start your body's going to run out of oxygen that it can use to produce energy. So Brian, like if you're going up a hill on your bike and you're pumping really hard with your legs, you're using those muscles quite a lot, and your body is you're breathing heavy, your body's converting, making energy, using oxygen, but it's saying, oh crap, we need energy faster than this because we're going up a big hill, which I'm sure there are lots of in Denver.
Lots of many hills.
Many hills.
Yes.
Right. So you're to do that, your body starts saying, okay, we're gonna do the anaerobic thing now, and we're gonna start. We don't have enough oxygen here, but we still need energy, and so to do that, it starts using a different cycle, a different process, and the byproduct of that is the lactic acid that ends up in your muscles, and it starts to burn, right?
Yeah.
Now your body can clear that. That's like, it doesn't stay there forever. Your body can clear all that lactic acid, but it takes time. And if you're producing it too fast, then it's going to start to build up, and that's when you hit those walls and you can't go anymore. Because not only does it burn, but lactic acid in your muscles also makes it so your muscles can't contract and do their job as easily. So that's when it's harder to move them, and you start cramping and things seize up.
Is that process corrosive over time? Like if you're doing it too much lactic acid, like can be destructive to your muscle tissue or no?
I think technically it can be. There's a condition called lactic acidosis that is pretty dangerous, but that's, I think, very extreme. Typically your body is just going to like give up before then. You ever seen like a marathon where people are running past the finish line in a marathon and they're like all wobbly legged and falling all over the place? That's because their muscles are getting to that point and they're just saying, we're done.
Yeah, we're out.
And so they're just going to stop. And so what you want to do is there's a line between your activity where your body is using oxygen and it no longer is able to keep up with the oxygen, and it needs to do something that's going to produce lactate or lactic acid.
Right.
there's a threshold there, and it's an important threshold because we call it the lactate threshold.
Okay.
And so if you read about training for endurance training, the lactate threshold is an important thing that is talked about a lot, because that's the point when your body switches over. It's more complicated than this, but essentially you can think of it as switching over from using oxygen to using harder to maintain forms of energy. So you don't want to cross that threshold when you're trying to go 75 miles in a day, right, Brian?
Yeah.
Or you're trying to run 20
Just
run
under
26
that
miles.
threshold. Yeah.
Right. So that's the goal. Okay. So ideally, if you can push that threshold further, then that makes it so you can last longer and do better in whatever marathon or bike ride you're doing, right?
Yeah.
So that's the goal of endurance training, is to push that threshold further. And the way that your body does that is by adding capillaries all around your muscle fibers. So like the capillaries are the little tiny blood vessels that carry blood directly to your muscles and all the tiny places around your body. So if you can add more capillaries around your muscles, then your body will be able to more efficiently transport oxygen. So that will help push that threshold further. It will also help clear waste from your muscles, like lactic acid, so it'll get rid of it more quickly.
Okay.
So that's one thing your body does. Adds capillaries. Another thing it does is it produces more mitochondria. Have you ever heard of mitochondria before?
Yes, I have. I don't remember what it is.
Yeah. That is the energy factory of your cells. They actually do the work of creating the energy. They take the oxygen and use it with the fats and carbohydrates to make the energy. So if your cells can have more mitochondria, then your cells are more efficient. That's another thing your body does when you're in training, is it actually produces more of these, makes more factories, energy factories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've given all this background. How do you actually make your body do those things of making you more efficient? It's all about hanging out in your training, hanging out in that aerobic zone of spending a lot of time, using oxygen, but pushing yourself pretty close to that line of going over the line of that threshold, but not quite getting there. And so if you hang out close to that, your body says, okay, that's when it starts to produce these capillaries and increase your mitochondria density in your cells and everything.
Now, is there a way to know when you're hitting that lactate
Good
threshold?
question.
That is
the hardest part.
Great question.
Right.
Yeah.
There are a lot of like rule of thumb ways. If you look it up, there's going to be varying ways that they teach you how to find out where that threshold is. And in running, there's these methods of running a certain pace and then measuring your heart rate. It's all based on heart rate and breathing, right?
Okay.
So there's all these different ways in running that you can measure it. There's a rule of thumb, an easy way to do it when you're running. They call it like the 7-word test or something like that. It's like I can't remember, but it's the idea that while you're running, you should be able to say like a 7-word phrase pretty easily.
Without,
if you can't speak a sentence without breathing really heavy and having trouble, then you're going too hard.
Okay. Well, I imagine it would be very similar then for cycling, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But fortunately for you, I did some research for cycling.
Wow, you get your own little personal workout researcher here. This is great.
Yeah, I like it. Great.
So I'm putting some links in the chat if my thing will actually paste anything. I was pressing the wrong control key.
Yeah.
You just sent all this stuff to your wife via text.
Yeah. Well done.
So let's here. There's two things I have here. The first one is an article about cycling training zones. So there's all these different training zones that you're in, and a lot of the terminology is used both in running and cycling. Right? You have your the big one that you want to think about is what are called tempo zones, and the tempo zone is is just a fancy word for being in that zone right before you're crossing the threshold, and it's where your body is going to be trying to push that threshold further.
Like the sweet spot, the most effective.
Yes.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Right. And then the second link I did was an article I found where somebody was describing how they trained for a long distance run, and I thought that might be useful for anybody else also who was like how to put that knowledge into practice.
Interesting.
So in general, though, for anybody who's listening and doesn't feel like looking anything up, the idea is that first thing you want to do if you're ever training for a long distance, like a marathon or a long bike ride, is you want to spend a lot of time doing what they call base training, which is for running, you know, it might be 6 to 12 weeks of base training where you're sort of just getting comfortable, getting out and working out 3 to 4 times a week. For a lot of the examples of distances I'm going to give is in terms of running because I don't cycle, but so like with running, you would go out and try to work your way up over 6 to 12 weeks of getting up to running, you know, 1 day a week running about 6 miles. And then the other days, just doing a few miles at an easy intensity. And this is the easy part of your training. It establishes a base. It gets your body used to doing this aerobic stuff, and it helps you strengthen your lungs and your muscles and everything. And you want to take your time because that strong base is going to help you. But after that is when you would start your proper training, quote unquote.
Like the ramping it up kind of thing.
Yeah, and so the general template here is you want to have one long distance activity a week. All right. This is not your highest intensity activity. This is your long distance activity. It's the one where, so for a marathon, you know, that's the one where I would run 10 miles. And then you remember when I was on Thursdays, that used to be my long distance time, or maybe it was Tuesday. Anyway, you know, sometimes before I would come on the show, I'd be like, oh, I ran 18 miles today. Mm-hmm. That was my long distance day. I wasn't running 18 miles every day.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So with a bike ride, you know, you might say, what's the longest I can comfortably ride? Because this long distance day should be an easy workout. You should not be pushing yourself too hard. You should be gaining confidence that you can go these long distances, but also pushing yourself not too hard, because these are the times when you're saying this is, you know, you're just increasing the distance that you can go. You're practicing doing the long distances, right? But at the same time, you know, training your muscles. So I don't know how long that is for you, Brian, in particular, for cycling in general, but whatever long distance you can comfortably go, and you want to increase that by about 10% or so every week.
How long till the MS 150? What's the date?
It is June. June 25th.
I was gonna say you got no time
So-
left, but
I have like 7 weeks.
Okay.
Or
Yeah,
6
so
weeks,
that's
yeah.
not terrible. That's not terrible.
No, it's definitely doable in this. Yeah.
Because you've already been doing stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's not like
So
I'm
when you
starting
go out
today.
and you do a long bike ride, what does that look like for
yesterday
you?
was 12 miles. Like a typical long bike ride, there's a 25 and a half mile one that I do regularly. Like I'll do that on the weekends because I want to, you know, do those on back-to-back days for the recovery and the practice of doing them one right after the other.
Yeah. So you might consider increasing the distance for that by like 2 to 4 miles every week. It sounds like a lot, but and still
It's
only
really
do
not
it
when
once
you
a
think
week.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Still only do it once a week because you want your body to have a lot of time to recover. And I know last time I suggested maybe you should try doing 2 back-to-back because your actual race is 2 back-to-back days, right?
Yeah.
But you consider this also. You might just have it once a week and increase the distance more so that by the time you get to the race day where you're going to do 75 miles in one day, maybe in your training you went 100 miles 2 weeks before. And or maybe that's too much. Again, I don't know what these distances are.
It's too much, Bobby.
but going like maybe the day before, like a week or two before you went, you were able to push yourself to go 80 miles. Then the 75 miles won't seem as bad.
Right.
And you've also got the confidence that you were able to do that.
Yeah.
And I know of an 80-mile ride that I've done half of. Just planning, saying, I'm gonna do 40. Tina, meet me at the other end of this, and I'll see you there. But I could do it as a loop.
Go there and back. Yeah.
Go there and back. Yeah.
So that would be my suggestion. And again, the point is, don't the easy. And I know this from experience because I've done it. The easiest thing to do is to accidentally get too overconfident and try to push yourself too hard.
Right. Yeah. No. Definitely don't want to do that.
You just want it to be easy. You want to have a good time while you're doing it. And because not only is that properly training your muscles, because if you go past that threshold, that's a different type of workout that does a different thing.
Yeah.
You want to be under the threshold so that your body is used to being there and starts building those capillaries, adding mitochondria, doing all the things that it needs to do so that you can push that threshold further.
I like that.
Super interesting. Well, you got time, Brian. You got this. You
got time. And these two articles are great, by the way. I've just kind of scanned them, but talking about fueling and the 3 zones.
There's a whole lot to endurance training that we could do many episodes on.
Right.
But
this is great. And knowing heart rate, which is when I do the rides, I have the Apple Watch on. I have it in outdoor cycle workout mode. So at a glance, I can look over and say, oh, I'm at 135 BPM, or maybe I want to go up to 140 or whatever. And that's kind of a good way to say, all right, that's my current threshold. I'm not going to go any higher than that.
Yeah,
And
there's
then-
a whole chunk in that article that's all about how to use a heart rate monitor to calculate it.
Oh, that's great. This is perfect. Yeah.
So read through that article. It'll tell you like a specific day you need to go out and push yourself really hard, do this thing, set your check your heart rate monitor at this time and then this time, and it'll tell you how to calculate it. And then it says, well, your zone that you want to be in is like some percentage below that maximum.
Seeing that right there, less than 68% for recovery, endurance 69 to 83%. This is great.
Right.
Yeah, love it.
Very cool.
There you go.
Cool.
I like
Thank you,
it.
Bobby.
A little bit of science today with Bobby. Science you didn't expect about running, everyone, or body things.
Body thing.
Body
things with Bobby.
Yeah.
It was car stuff and then workout stuff.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
like,
We're covering the wide range that people need, really, is what we're doing. Bobby, as always, pleasure to have you here. Tell people about All Around Science, where they can get it, and anything else you want to mention.
Yeah, All Around Science is our weekly science podcast. Me and my co-host Maura do it, and we talk about science stuff, just whatever we feel like's in the news or that we're geeking out about and everything. It's pretty fun. We just did an episode that came out yesterday, which I can't remember what it was about because I've just had
so
company
many things
over.
have happened. Yeah.
So much stuff is going on right now, but I'm sure it was a great episode, and you should definitely listen to it.
Well, I'm sure it was. I have zero doubt about that. In the meantime, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you soon. Bye now.
Thanks, Bobby.
Oh, we got him going.
I love that. Yeah, we got that with Garrett. We got it with Bobby.
Yep.
Perfect.
My goal from now on is to always get it with whoever's on.
Nice. Yes.
Quick email at the end of the show here today from Jeff Sire, wrote in from Grafton, Ontario, aka Bronco. We hope he's doing well. Say hi to Jen. Anyway, and he's from Canada.
Canada!
Here's what he says. Oh, I should play this.
Send and receive email.
This email address is themorningstream@gmail.com. Themorningstream@gmail.com. Jeff says this. Guys, I just watched the first episode of the new Netflix show, The Pentaverate. Right? Pentaverate.
Pentaverate. That's how I think it's pronounced. Yeah, this is the new thing with Mike Myers.
Yeah, the Mike Myers deal. He says, I don't know about the rest, but the first episode is one big love letter to Canada and especially Southern Ontario, where I live. There are so many in-jokes. I don't know how to tell, or I don't know how well this will play for any place else. I'm writing this because I know one or both of you will at least take a look, and I'm wondering if the humor will carry across the border. Just an example, the Ken Scarborough character, Scarborough itself is jokes, and Scarborough is a Toronto suburb, is based on Glenn Cochran, a CFTO reporter from when I was a kid. He even has the mannerisms and double entendres with the girls around him. And then he gives a link for that. Anyway, interested to hear your opinions, even if you think it's shit. LOL. Jeff Sire. Well, I love Canadian television, and so I'm probably going to like it, is my guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, is this a typical Mike Myers, lots of prosthetics and a funny voice and that sort of thing. Curious as to how much this is going to be.
So is he in it, or is he just producing, writing?
He's the star of it.
He's the star of it. Okay.
He is the.
All right. I missed. I guess this completely missed my radar until he mentioned it.
It just came out, and it's one of those things where Netflix sends you an email. Hey, something new we've added that you might like. It's the new Mike Myers comedy, The Pentaveret. Oh, J.C. Calhoun says Mike Myers plays like all the roles, I think.
Oh,
so
really?
Is he almost every character in this thing?
He's good at that, so hey.
He is, yeah.
8 characters.
I mean, you start out with Austin Powers, then you add Dr. Evil, and then you add the fat Scottish guy, and then you add...
The fat Scottish guy.
I can't remember. I couldn't remember his name.
What was he called? He ate... he always wanted to put things in his belly. Yeah.
Yeah. Fat bastard. That's it. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to check it out because it's Mike Myers, and I have a long fandom for that guy. So.
Yeah.
Except
for the Love Guru. Skip that one.
That's a bad movie. Yeah.
Oh, he does. He plays 8 characters in this thing. Holy poop.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of characters. All those 8 characters. All right, we're done for today. Would like to encourage more people to send those emails in. themorningstream@gmail.com. And I also want to call out a patron today. Jared Williams, longtime patron of the show.
You've been called out, Jared.
Yep. I pulled him out of the list at random, and I sent him a quick little private message, said, hey, I'm going to talk about it on the show tomorrow. So hopefully he's listening today, and I just wanted to tell Jared, thanks for being a longtime supporter of the show. It means a lot to us. And if you go over there and sign up now, you might get mentioned on the show as well. Patreon.com/TMS. For everything else, per usual, it's frogpants.com/TMS. Man, I have a loose monitor cable, and it's pissing me off.
No. So is your monitor like going pink and
black?
A
little bit of, like if I wiggle it, I get it right where I want it. And bet if I accidentally touch it, it'll either cut out altogether or change colors. I got to get a better, it's a display port, but I don't know if it's the cable or the port.
Oh, that sucks. Hey, you guys have a Play Retro coming up tonight?
We do. Tonight, 3:30 Mountain Time, we are going deep into all things. Well, we're starting with Dragon's Lair, but we're moving our way up through all those real-time action real-time, whatever the heck they call that mechanic, kinds of games.
Laserdisc-based games.
Yeah, Laserdisc games. And that includes like a ton of stuff you probably never even heard of, but we're going to focus, obviously, mostly on this and Space Ace and Dragon's Lair 2 and
was
many
that
others.
Dana Plato thing, Night Trap? That wasn't. I know that wasn't Laserdisc based, obviously, because
it is on there though. It's definitely on our list of stuff today. So
cool.
I think that's kind of the run, right? Like you start with the Laserdisc stuff, and then it kind of crescendos or ends with Night Trap, Sewer Shark, all that. Mm-hmm. There was one Western one where you shot a bunch of cowboys. I don't remember the name of it.
Oh yeah, where it was on your right. It was like a draw. It was basically just draw.
Yeah,
was the whole.
Yeah, that was it. You were trying to beat the. It was never just shoot gallery people. It was like
no, it was
standoff or what's that called?
It was a first-person shooter that was only draw.
Yeah. Well, there it is. Mad Dog McCree. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna have a great time with that. So check that out. 3:30 Mountain Time. You got anything else going on today?
Yeah, I just posted all of the contestant submissions for what we called Podcast Mad Libs Week. This is where we gave each of our 3 teams a choice as to what kind of podcast they wanted to produce. Mm-hmm. And we ended up, because they did this to themselves, people, we ended up with Self-Help Comedy Game Show.
Oh,
so if you visit americasnexttopodcaster.com, you can listen to the 3 submissions that they were responsible for categorizing as self-help comedy game shows.
Yeah, it was a hell of a combination and worth your time.
Yes. Jury loved it. By the way.
He
Jury
loved
said it was his favorite challenge of all time.
He's never liked anything more, I don't think. I think this is his favorite thing he's ever liked in the world. So.
Right, exactly.
He likes his mom, but does he like his mom as much as that episode? Probably not.
It's hard to say. Yeah,
probably not.
I mean, he didn't shave his head for the episode, so I guess that's one check mark on that side.
Good point. All right,
on the mom's side.
We're out of here. Thank you all for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. Your normal Wednesday shenanigans. So check us out then. Oh, and we may have when did we pick a date yet? I think Nicole's going to be back on a date this month or something.
Oh yeah, no, next month, June
Next month.
1st.
Okay.
Yes.
Early June. We're
We have time. We have time to break the news to Randy.
Oh yeah. He may, I mean, we all knew it was possibly temporary, but
yes,
she's out of the school year, and we're gonna get her back. So watch for
That's
that.
right.
Yeah.
For the
her.
summer, probably we'll lose her again. I think once fall starts up again and kids are beating down her door.
Yeah.
Mrs. Spagnolo, how do I 3D print a gun?
Miss Spag, Jimmy farted on me. Yeah.
Can I 3D print a gun with resin?
With real bullets, please. Anyway, we'll let you know when that happens. Okay.
That's right.
We got to go, but we
All
got to
right.
go with music. So go with music, Brian.
Music. Yes. Are you ready, Scott?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how the song begins. Andy says, my birthday is Thursday, May the 12th, and I would love to hear a cover of Ballroom Blitz, if any exist. Oh, many exist. Years ago, I like how he says this, years ago, Wayne's World did a cover that was rocking, so I'm hoping there are other covers out there. Keep up the good work and rock on. Now, technically, Wayne's World didn't do the cover. Boy,
No.
Mike Myers twice in one episode today.
Weird.
But it was Tia Carrere for the movie Wayne's World. It wasn't even Mike Myers and Dana
Plato.
Carvey, Dana Plato. That's our second Dana of the show as well.
Weird.
Yeah.
That was weird.
No, it was Tia Carrere doing it obviously for the movie. But there have been a ton of great covers of this song. This actually, here's a little bit about a trivia about Brian Ibbett.
Yeah.
The very first vinyl LP I ever owned was Sweet's Desolation Boulevard, which had Ballroom Blitz. It had the 16s. It had like all, a majority of Sweet's greatest hits on this album.
That's great. Do you still have it or no?
I do still have it. I should put it up
Nice.
in here, although right now I've got Pink Floyd The Wall, and that's,
Yeah. Well,
That's
you
one of my
can't have any
favorite
pudding if
albums
you
of all
don't eat your
time.
meat, so I get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Stand still, laddie. All right. So let's hear a cover of Ballroom Blitz. But just Ballroom Blitz on its own. How about a cover that mixes Ballroom Blitz with ABBA's Dancing Queen? Yes, it's time for another song from the Black Sweden from their 2000 album Gold. Here's a mashup of Ballroom Blitz and Dancing Queen.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
What?
Yeah, what?